Hey everyone, John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Pimsleur Chinese program. This is one of the most popular apps out there for learning Mandarin, and now that we've purchased and used it, we wanted to share our thoughts on how it stacks up against other Chinese programs. So that's what we're going to do today. But before we just dive right in, I just want to say that since I'm just going to be focusing on the major highlights and lowlights of this program in this video, if you find you need some more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written review of Pimsleur over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight Pimsleur Chinese Review. That's the quickest way to find it. Alright, so let's just start this video by breaking down how the actual Pimsleur Chinese program works. That way you have a bit of a basis for my thoughts and the pros and cons that are going to follow here in a couple minutes. Now, organizationally, Pimsleur is built around 5 different learning levels. You start with level 1, that's the newcomer level, and then you work your way up to level 5, that's the advanced level. And within each of these 5 levels, there are 30 full-length lessons to complete. Now, what does each lesson look like? Well, it's actually kind of simple. Each lesson starts with a 30-minute audio exercise and is then followed by a series of drills. Let's start with the audio portion, as it's definitely the most important. In this portion of the lesson, an English-speaking guide walks you through an audio lesson that's based in large part around a conversation in everyday Chinese. You'll listen to a short back and forth exchange between 2 fluent Chinese speakers, and then the moderator will stop and clarify what you're hearing, explain key points, and then ask you questions in order to get you engaged. This is the main portion of each lesson. Then, after the audio portion, you review what you just learned through a variety of drills and exercises. It's kind of like class followed by homework in a way. The homework portion, the drills, consist of flashcards, quizzes, pronunciation practice, and speed games, just to name a few. Each of these reinforcement drills takes around 5 minutes or so each, so all in all, you're looking at around 60 minutes to complete one full Pimsleur lesson. That is the audio exercise plus all the reinforcement drills. But honestly, from a high level, that's sort of it in terms of how the Pimsleur Chinese course works and what the lessons are like. And I know I covered that pretty quickly, so if you want some more detail or a deeper dive, make sure to check out that full detailed written review that I mentioned earlier. I'll have it linked down below in the description. I've got more screenshots and detail over there so you can get a better feel for what to expect. Okay, so before we jump right into the pros and cons that we found with this course, I just want to quickly talk about pricing. Pimsleur keeps it pretty simple and only offers 2 different plans. The first is Pimsleur Premium, which gets you access to their Chinese course for $20 per month. And then second is Pimsleur All Access, which gives you access to all Pimsleur languages. There's about 50 of them in total for around $21 per month. Or in other words, $1 more per month. So comparing that to other language apps, Pimsleur is more expensive by around $5 to $10 per month on average. It's definitely not the cheapest Chinese app on the market. You can find others like Duolingo or Busuu for $8 to $10. But honestly, it's not that bad either, all things considered. And in fact, if you're going to be learning Chinese or another language with your partner or a family member or friend, you can actually account split with Pimsleur, effectively making the price $10 or even $5 per month, which is super reasonable in my opinion. Plus, it's definitely worth mentioning that Pimsleur offers a 7-day free trial, so you can always try this program out and see if you like it first before diving in and just paying, which is pretty nice. Not all Chinese language programs out there offer this, some you have to buy without even trying. So I'll go ahead and drop a link to that free trial down below in the description if you want to check that out. I'd personally suggest signing up for the free trial period and giving this app a good test run before diving in and buying. Alright, so now that we've talked about how Pimsleur Chinese works and what it costs, let's get into what I like and don't like about this app after testing it. And let's start with the positives. For me, the first highlight of Pimsleur Chinese is clearly the audio lessons. I personally think the Pimsleur audio exercises are incredibly well designed and executed. Most other language learning apps like Duolingo and Babbel focus on short, quick hit drills that are interactive and more game-like. But the Pimsleur course is totally different. It feels more like an actual instructional program than an app or game, and it's entirely because of these 30-minute audio exercises that kick off each unit. These lessons are super immersive with thoughtful commentary, and they really help you to develop an ear for listening to Chinese. Because they're built around real conversations and you get to listen to the back and forth, rather than just memorizing vocabulary like you do with Duolingo, they're really powerful. This is by far my favorite part of the Pimsleur program. I just think these audio lessons are great. Alright, so my second pro here sort of goes hand in hand with the first, and that's Pimsleur's speech recognition software. Their software system called Voice Coach is really good and really useful in my opinion. This is for a couple reasons. First, it's really accurate. I've tested a bunch of these speech tools at this point, and Pimsleur is definitely one of the better apps in terms of speed and accuracy. I'm just a fan of the software. And second, they offer a cool feature with their speech tool called Challenge Mode that tests both your pronunciation and your critical thinking under pressure. Basically, you turn on Challenge Mode and it doesn't give you the phrase to say in Chinese. It prompts you in English, and then you have to come up with the Chinese phrase yourself and speak it aloud, which I really like because it makes you think critically and respond quickly. It's a great lifelike practice. Okay, so pro number 3 is flexibility. These lessons are mostly like podcasts. Because the core 30-minute Pimsleur exercise in each lesson is audio-based, I like that you can throw on a lesson and just do it while you're on the go. You can do these lessons while you're washing the dishes, walking the dog, folding laundry, whatever mindless task. Just nice that you don't have to be glued to your computer screen or phone at all times like you do with other apps out there. In my experience, when you're learning a language, sometimes it's best not to just sit in one place with a hyper focus on the screen in front of you. It's better to just listen and let your brain absorb what you're hearing. And the Pimsleur audio lessons are definitely good for that. Their mobile app even comes with a special driving mode, so you can do lessons during your commute or a road trip, which I also really liked. So overall, I think the flexibility of the Pimsleur lessons definitely deserve some credit. And lastly, a quick pro number 4, but I like the Pimsleur program interface a lot. Some programs are super clunky and outdated, but Pimsleur's user experience is great. It's super sleek and modern, everything is responsive and fast, and it's just plain easy to navigate. It's basically everything you could want in a modern app. I love the interface here. Okay, so those are my pros. Now let's switch sides to the things that I don't necessarily like about Pimsleur Chinese. But before we get to that, I should just mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free language learning course to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter and everyone is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description on how to get entered, but just know it takes like 10 seconds and hey, you never know, you could win a totally free subscription to Pimsleur Chinese. Alright, so to the negatives. And the first con is that while the lessons are awesome, they're just long. There's no way around it. Between the audio exercise and the drills that come after that, you're looking at about a full hour from start to finish to complete a typical lesson. Again, I really like the lessons, especially the audio portion, but they can also become tedious at times because they're so lengthy. Sometimes around the 20-minute mark of each audio lesson, my mind would start to hit a wall and I need to pause it for 10 minutes while I took a quick break to check my phone and get a drink, and then I'd come back to finish up the last few minutes for the day or just save it for the next night. But if you're the type of person that has a short attention span, this is something to keep in mind. These lessons are very in-depth, comprehensive, and they're not meant for people looking for quick, gamey, Duolingo-like lessons. Alright, so my second negative here is that Pimsleur is really limited when it comes to reading and writing instruction. If you need to learn to read and write in Chinese, this might not be the best program fit for you. There are some lessons in the latter half of the program once you've established a foundation, but I would just say that they're basic. The Pimsleur program is definitely geared towards becoming conversational in Mandarin, not learning to read and write. So if you're primarily learning for conversational purposes, it's fantastic for that, but for a more fulsome mastery of Chinese, I'm not sure this program alone is going to get you there. Okay, so the last con that we found here is that because the Pimsleur lessons are so heavy in terms of audio, they might not be the best fit for visual learners. Beyond the interactive drills after the audio lessons, there really isn't too much in the way of visuals and images in the program. And that might be an issue for some types of learners. This all has to do with the Pimsleur method, which is based on developing your ear for a language, not reading and writing, so there is limited imagery. So bottom line, if you're the type of learner that needs imagery to learn best, then Pimsleur might not be the best option for you. Okay, so that about does it for this review, so here's the verdict. All in all, I really like the Pimsleur Chinese program and think it's an overall effective app, especially for those that do well with audio lessons. Basically, if you're a podcast lover, you're probably going to really like this program. The audio lessons that form the backbone of the course are effective, even if a little long. The post-audio drills are great for getting material to stick, and the voice coach software is good for working on your Chinese pronunciation and getting you to think critically under pressure. Pimsleur Chinese isn't perfect, and visual learners might struggle with it, but overall, we really like this program and think Pimsleur is a solid option that should work well for most people. But anyway, that's all I've got for you. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something about Pimsleur Chinese. If so, please return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and drop me a quick comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full, detailed written review of Pimsleur Chinese that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website. Again, that's testprepinsight.com. or you can always check out the other review videos we have on our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.